Hey guys, what's going on? Jeb here, and in today's video, we're going to be doing a little bit of technical analysis on Bitcoin and the cryptocurrency markets, and I think you guys can see on our screen right here what the topic for today's video is going to be, because if you watched yesterday's video, then you will be familiar with the little breakout that we've been seeing here on the Bitcoin chart over the last 48 hours, and perhaps little isn't the right word for it. While this isn't necessarily the biggest run that I've ever seen in my career here in crypto, it's definitely the biggest one that we've seen in a while. Bitcoin is up 11% in the last 48 hours or so, and doesn't exactly seem like it's going to be stopping anytime soon. Now, we're going to be discussing whether or not it will later on in the video, but nevertheless, this is a very major development. Bitcoin has gotten above $3,800 and is knocking on 4,000's door on Coinbase, and in fact has already breached it over here on Bitfinex. So in today's video, we're going to be doing some technical analysis on this breakout. We're going to be analyzing what's causing this breakout. We're going to be talking about the strength of the bulls and the bears and why that relates so heavily to which direction Bitcoin is going to be going here over the next couple of weeks, and whether or not Bitcoin is close to running out of steam and the top of this rally. We're going to be discussing all of that and more in today's video, guys. So if you enjoyed today's video, definitely consider dropping a like, hitting that subscribe button, and smashing the notification bell so you can be around for this coffee-addicted technical analysis for another day. Anyway, that was a weird intro. Let's go ahead and get right into it. Bitcoin is currently trading around $3,953 on Coinbase. Like I said, it's trading a little bit higher than that over here on the Bitfinex chart, but across all exchanges, Bitcoin is on average trading at almost exactly $4,000. You can see that's why we refresh the page. Bitcoin is still moving up, and it's moving up in real time. Now, actually, in the last 2 minutes or so, it's gone down by about $10, but Bitcoin is generally trending to the upside at the time of recording this video. It is currently 8:59 a.m. Eastern Standard Time, and over the last couple of hours, we've seen something like this happen. A lot more volatility has come back into Bitcoin as the East Coast of the United States of America has started to wake up, and while that may not be the cause of it, that's definitely an interesting correlation there, because the East Coast is starting to wake up and Bitcoin is starting to move up. Anyway, let's go ahead out here to the hourly chart and start analyzing what's going on here, and let's kind of do a bit of a recap from where we've come from. Where'd we come from, Cotton Eye? Anyway, Bitcoin had a nice little breakout here, starting down here around $3,350 and traded sideways here over the last couple of days. Really about a week, Bitcoin traded sideways in this pennant right here, and a lot of people were talking about Bitcoin breaking bullish, Bitcoin breaking bearish. I was one of them for several days during the beginning of this. I was worried that Bitcoin was going to break bearish, and then for a little while I was bullish, and then for a little while I was bearish. I changed my tune a little bit, and literally every technical analyst I saw was changing their tune a lot, because Bitcoin was giving us a lot of mixed signals right here. But sometimes when Bitcoin's giving you mixed signals, that's just because the technical analysis isn't being very clear, and Bitcoin is going to go ahead and do this number when you're least expecting it, and Bitcoin decided to go ahead and break a bullish out here. We ran all the way up to $3,800, and Bitcoin was in the process of breaking that level of resistance when we recorded yesterday's video. I do recommend going back and watching that video as a prelude to this one, of course. And ever since then, Bitcoin has lost some of its steam. We haven't moved up quite as quickly as we had, but nevertheless, Bitcoin has made ground, and like I said, is currently in the process of knocking on $4,000's door. And if we come in here to the minute chart, this is updating in real time. Bitcoin is moving to the upside again. If we look here on the minute chart, Bitcoin is doing a little bit of a jump out, a $10 move in the last couple of minutes. Nothing major, but definitely baby steps moving on up to higher levels. I would very much like to see a 4 start the price of Bitcoin once again. It's really kind of sad to see Bitcoin trading at $3,000 because, guys, I've been in the market for almost 2 years now, and Bitcoin was trading around this level, around $2,700 when I got into the market back halfway through 2017. So it's kind of, it's not depressing, but it is kind of it's kind of a bittersweet nostalgia. I'll put it that way. It's a bittersweet nostalgia to see Bitcoin this low. And of course, it's a good thing because we get to load up on our Bitcoin when Bitcoin does this number and goes up and up and up. But of course, it's never fun to see Bitcoin this low. Let's go ahead and look at the 1 minute chart here for a second. Like I said in yesterday's video, I'm going to treat this video a little bit more like a live stream than so much a pre-recorded video, although we do have a lot of things that we need to get to in today's video. But I do want to go ahead and watch and see if Bitcoin's about to break out here. We'll be watching that in this chart up here. I'm going to go ahead and duplicate this so that we can go ahead and look at the longs chart, which I wanted to show you guys, because there's something very interesting on the longs chart. Yes, I'm aware. There's something very interesting on the longs chart that I want to bring to your attention, and that would have to do with the fact that the longs are crashing, and they're crashing pretty hard. And this is actually an important sign that we're going to be talking about here. Of course, the longs chart always looks weird on the 1 hourly, on the 1 minute. But let's come out here to the daily chart on the longs, and let's look at something. This is an interesting movement right here. Bitcoin longs have been crashing very, very, very hard. It's been quite a while since Bitcoin longs have crashed this hard. It happened halfway through December, and it's happened in the past, way back when, back over here in the late part of 2017 and 2018 and earlier part of 2018. This kind of thing would happen a lot, but we haven't really seen a crash this hard in the longs in quite some time. If we go ahead and measure this, then we're going to see it's about a 30% or about a 22% retracement. If we were to measure from the top of that wick up there, it'd be about a 33% retracement, I think it was, if memory serves correctly, about 27%, excuse me. Nevertheless, longs have crashed very hard in the last several days, and that, of course, corresponds with Bitcoin rallying quite substantially here over the last several hours, over the last 2 or 3 days. And, of course, you would expect that to happen because when Bitcoin is in an accumulation phase like this, when Bitcoin is at the tail end of a bear market like this, and when Bitcoin is coming into the end of the bear market, but the bears are still in control, and that power in the market is gradually being moved from the bear's side to the bull's side, you would expect the longs to crash for one reason. And that reason is people are taking profits. And that's really the main point I want to talk about in today's video. Is Bitcoin going to break $4,000 and start mooning and head towards $6,000 or something crazy? Or are we about to be a little bit more conservative and see Bitcoin start a retracement here? Is Bitcoin going to be able to get through $4,000 and sustain a continued rally? That's what we want. That's what we want to discuss here. And I really think that's the question of the hour that we all have on our mind. Is Bitcoin going to continue this upwards trend for the next several days? And I want to make it very clear to you guys that while there is a good chance that Bitcoin continues to rally here, and that Bitcoin continues to move up, and that Bitcoin goes up and starts testing levels of resistance up around $4,200 to $4,500, there's definitely a possibility of that happening. I wouldn't bet my money on it. And when we're trading in a market, that's what you're doing, is you're betting money on it. And I'm not going to bet money on that. Now, we did just break the 100 daily simple moving average, and that is a very strong argument. And there is a case to be made that because we've done this for the first time in a long time, that Bitcoin is going to see some more continued movement. We haven't seen this happen in a very long time. The last time was over here in August. That was when we broke it. But also remember, every time since the top of the bull market, when we broke the 100 daily moving average, that typically corresponded with the top of the rally and a subsequent downtrend following it. I want you guys to be very, very careful with this market because the time to get into Bitcoin was not now. The time to buy into Bitcoin was not in the last 24 hours. You didn't miss the boat in the last 24 hours. You missed the boat a couple weeks ago when Bitcoin was trading down here around $3,000, around $3,300, or down here when Bitcoin is around $3,100. The time to be getting into Bitcoin is not right now because I can't guarantee you guys anything, but I would bet my money, and I am betting my money, that over half of this rally, starting down here at $3,300, is probably anyway over. I don't see Bitcoin going above $4,500 to $5,000 anytime soon. Now, it definitely will in the future. I'm almost certain that Bitcoin will in the next couple of years. But this rally right here, I don't see that happening. I want to be very clear with you guys. There is a very good chance that Bitcoin keeps rallying here. There is a very good chance for this for many different reasons. One of them you guys talked about in the comments section down below in yesterday's video, and that is that the 50 simple moving average on the weekly chart is crossing below the 100 simple moving average, which is very interesting because the last time we saw that happen, that actually corresponded with the beginning, with about halfway through the accumulation phase, and the bull market followed pretty soon after. We saw this happen in the previous accumulation phase. Let's zoom out so you guys have context. This is right back over here in this part of the market. Right over here, we see that Bitcoin's 50 moving average, this moving average, crossed below the 100, and that did coincide with the middle of the accumulation phase right here. But note that the bull market didn't start until several months later. The bull market hasn't started yet, guys. We haven't had confirmation of that, so I want you guys to be very careful here. Now, you guys know that I'm a bullish person, and I do like talking about the bullish scenario, but it's also very important that we understand when it's gotten a little overextended. I'm not necessarily saying here that Bitcoin is overextended. What I am trying to say is that if you were thinking about getting into the market right now, I'm not going to tell you not to. It's not my place to do so, but I am going to tell you to think twice about it because Bitcoin has rallied very, very heavily over the last couple of days. Bitcoin has done very, very well. Bitcoin had a very strong breakout over here, traded sideways, consolidated. The bulls and the bears came to terms, and then the bulls decided that they weren't done, and they started rallying again. And the bulls have made absolutely amazing strides over the last couple of weeks. But remember, we're not in a bull market. If we were in a bull market, then yes, we could expect this reasonably to continue up to $6,000 or higher. But we're not. We're in an accumulation phase. The longs are crashing, and they're crashing hard, and they're crashing because people are taking profits, and those people taking profits are eventually going to outweigh the people that are buying. Of course, the shorts are crashing also. You expect that to happen, but the longs are crashing a lot harder. The point I want to make in this video is that, yes, there is more room for Bitcoin to run. I would not be surprised to see Bitcoin go up to $4,000, a little above $4,000, maybe $4,200, maybe even to $4,500, depending on where you're looking at resistance. The point I want to make is to be careful, because you can lose a lot of money in these situations. You can lose a lot of money. I know this from experience, and so does everyone who's been in the market for a little while. When you see a big run like this, and then you start getting scared, and you're like, oh crap, Bitcoin's rallying. If I don't get in now, I'm going to miss out. If I don't get in now, I'm going to miss out on the biggest run. This is the beginning of the bull run. Bitcoin's going to go to $6,000. It's going to break it. It's going to go to the moon. I'm exaggerating, of course, but if you start looking at this and you think, okay, Bitcoin's going to go to $4,500. Bitcoin's going to go to $5,000. Well, we haven't been in a bull market for a long time, so some of you guys might not be familiar with the term FOMO, but that's exactly what that is. And that characterized pretty much all of the 2016-17 bull market, was people getting into the market, buying into the market, seeing Bitcoin was going to the moon. They buy in at exactly the wrong place. They buy in at $5,000 in August of 2017. I'll show you the market on that. They'd buy in really, really late, and then the crash would come. They'd sell low, and they'd lose their money. And that happened in a lot of different ways. People were buying in at $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 on Bitcoin, expecting Bitcoin to never stop running, and they got screwed. Back over here is what I was talking about in early September, actually. People were buying in up here because they saw Bitcoin rallying. They're like, oh no, I'm going to miss the run. And look, guys, we might not be up here in this current run that we're in right now. We might be over here. There might be more to come. There very well may be. But you guys did miss the best time to buy, and that's okay. You can still make money. Just be careful of buying at the top, because we don't know yet if Bitcoin's going to go above $4,000. Now, you guys know I'm not a perma bear or anything. You guys know I am a bullish person. You guys know that I do like to talk about the bullish scenario, and I do like to look at the bright side of life, as they would say. But with all that in mind, I do want you guys to be careful, because the people that bought in at $5,000 right here, and the people that bought in at $3,000 right here, and some of you guys might be the person who bought in at $18,000, $19,000, $20,000 up here, they don't feel very good about it, even though they did when they bought. So be very careful. I do think there's a lot of bullishness in Bitcoin. I do think that Bitcoin has a very good future, a very bright future, but at the same time, I think that we're a little overdue for a correction. Now, that correction may come tomorrow. That correction may come a week from now. That correction may come 2 weeks from now. That correction might come in the next 5 minutes. We'll have to see. Tell me in the comment section down below what you think is going to come from this rally. I don't mean to rain on anyone's parade. I am very happy that Bitcoin is rallying. I'm very happy that Bitcoin is doing something, and I'm very happy to see that what Bitcoin is doing is for once bullish. I'm extremely, extremely happy to see that, and I do think that there's a very bright future for Bitcoin. You guys know I'm a big fan of Bitcoin. I wouldn't be making a video about it literally every single day and making it a part of my morning routine if I wasn't. So tell me in the comment section down below where you think, guys, where you guys think, I can speak English, where you guys think that Bitcoin is going to be going over the next couple of days. Do you think Bitcoin's going to keep rallying here? Do you think Bitcoin's going to rally up here to maybe resistance levels up here around $4,200? That's why I mentioned that level. This is definitely a level to be looking out for. I wouldn't be surprised to see Bitcoin go that high, but I am being very cautious with this, because the time to buy was not in the last 12 hours, it was down here. So be very careful about that, guys. I am interested to hear your opinions in the comment section down below. I love reading your guys' comments, and I love interacting with you guys in the premiere. Anyway, guys, I am rambling a little bit. That is going to do it for today's video. I do want to thank each and every single one of you for watching, as always, and I will see you guys in the next video. Peace.